my nightlife. I got my 9 to 5. I am the Catman. You don't have to be cool with that, but don't you invade my territory. Don't you eat no fish in front of me. Don't you wake me from my nap. Don't you just be fine with that. You will learn to serve me. You will learn to keep me purring. One thing you must never do. Don't you mess with my Catman, do good God. I like my catnip. Don't be a hypocrite. You got a vice or two. Don't hate and judge my tune. I hate the blue jays. I eat them straight from the cage. I am the Catman. You don't have to be cool with that, but don't you invade my territory. Don't you eat no fish in front of me. Don't you wake me from my nap. Don't you just be fine with that. You will learn to serve me. You will learn to keep me purring. One thing you must never do. Don't you mess with my Catman, do good God.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's presentation of the Bolt Racing League Pre-Legend Series here live from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I forgot to update a couple things, so we're going to get our ticker sorted right now. But meanwhile, Tristan Bear and the 05 out on track. In qualifying. Tristan Bear starting his qualifying run now. So far, Wesley Riddle, quickest on the board. He's completed his timed laps right now. Oh, and Scott McCann is upside down in a big way. Mark Cofield on track currently. I'm going to complete lap number 2 right here. He'll jump up to the 4th spot. John Matthews on track. Appears as though lap number 1 may not have counted for him. So, hoping here for lap number 2 to count, I'm sure. Matthews in the number 98 car. He'll jump to 8th quick there on lap number 2. Scott McCann still sitting there upside down, but meanwhile, Justin Johnson exiting the pit lane on his way to start his first lap in the number 33 car. And green flag out for him here on lap number 1. Coming down the front stretch, might run out of time here for a second lap, but we'll have to wait and see. Lap number 1 going to count, though. And I think he knew that he was going to be a little short on time, but still goes 5th quick on lap number 1. And that'll do it from us here in qualifying. Wesley Riddle going to be on the pole here tonight at Las Vegas. And here's a look at your starting grid. Wesley Riddle in the number 48 car going to start on the pole, and Jeremiah Holt in the number 73 going to be to his outside. Row number 2 going to be the number 94 of Jimmy Mensch, and to his outside going to be the number 97 of Mark Cofield. Row number 3 going to be that 33 car we saw at the tail end of qualifying, starting in 5th, and to his outside going to be Martin Roberg in the number 37. Row number 4 going to be the number 12 of Scott McCann, and to his outside going to be the number 35 of Casey Ellis. Row number 5 going to be the number 98 of John Matthews, and his outside going to be the 28 of Lane Myers. Then rounding out the field in the 6th and final row going to be the 05 of Tristan Bear, and to his outside going to be the 57 of Christopher Mixon. 85 laps here on the board. Plenty of time for these drivers, and as a reminder, halfway break on or around, I believe, lap 42 here tonight. Is it 42 or 43? Somewhere around that range. From there, caution will fly, and field will get the opportunity to come down, get some fresh tires, fill it back full of fuel, get ready for the second half of this race. Still 40 plus laps, a long ways to go here at Las Vegas, especially in these ARCA cars. Now, I don't know about you guys at home, I'm pretty excited to watch this one. I think it's going to be a lot more about tire saving than you may think. But it'll be definitely a very interesting one to watch here. But Wesley Riddle, Jeremiah Holt going to lead us to the green here. I'd say for one to watch here, definitely going to be last week's winner, Martin Roberg, there in the 37, starting a little further back than we're used to seeing out of him. But I think just with his experience, especially in this car, and especially with the job he's done on the mile-and-a-half tracks this season so far, definitely going to be a strong contender here at the end of this one. But aside from that, pace car going to make its way onto pit lane, and that'll leave it in the hands of the starter to start tonight's race.
Green, green, green.
And green flag going to fly there. Wesley Riddle going to take the early lead here. Back behind him, the 73, Jeremiah Holt, falling back a little bit. Jimmy Mintz trying to pick up that spot in second. You already see these cars, too, with 3 wide back throughout the pack. Mostly 2 wide, I should say, actually. Mark Cofield almost looked to make it 3 there for third. This race looking to be a little different than a lot of the intermediates we've seen. Track is very hot. You remember back to Charlotte a couple of weeks ago, night race, and it was all about maintaining that track position. Then back before that, Atlanta, I recall, that one was not quite as brutal of track temps as we're seeing here. But we are in the desert, and that is to be expected. Battle back here for the third spot. Scott McCann was looking into the inside of Justin Johnson momentarily. And now Jimmy Minch up front looking for that race lead side by side with Wesley Riddle. Riddle drifting way high there, but he's able to carry that momentum off the corner, and he will retain the lead here at the line. This side-by-side's allowing that group behind to start catching up a little bit more. Justin Johnson closed up to the back bumper of the 94 there on corner entry. But now Jimmy Minch getting another strong run down the backstretch. This time Wesley Riddle shutting the door a little bit, able to pull back a little bit more of a gap. We're almost starting to see 2 different groups starting to form up here. We got this top 5 group. And now that's that Tristan Bear starting to close up to the back of Scott McCann there for 5th. Jimmy Minch making another dive down to the bottom, looking for your race lead. Once again, Riddle able to carry that momentum down the front stretch and retain the lead, but now Jimmy Minch fighting back down on the bottom. Justin Johnson goes for a big move, 3 wide momentarily, but now back to 2. But now Justin Johnson side by side with Jimmy Minch for the second spot, and now Martin Roberg right there with them. Down to the bottom, that was tight. Johnson through the block and almost snacked up himself and Roberg. Ooh, tight off of turn number 2. Justin Johnson maybe making a little contact there with Jimmy Minch. Whoa, Tristan Barrett getting sideways. Oh, and he'll have to lock it down, go down pit road. He's able to keep it going. Not going to bring out a caution with where he spun. Unfortunate there. Looks like he's able to keep the car clean. We'll have to watch if he loses a lap or not with having to take a detour through pit road there. But up front, woo, Wesley Riddle going around almost. Good save there. Wow, track really starting to loosen up, and 3 wide now for your second spot. Jimmy Mensch leading Martin Roberg through the middle. Justin Johnson on the bottom, Scott McCann up top, and Roberg comes out on top for that one. You see, this one might be a game of saving the right front tire, or right rear tire, I should say, with how loose these cars are getting down in 3 and 4. Now, Tristan Barrett is 1 lap down, but still right there with your leaders. Now, battle further back. This is for 5th. John Matthews leading Jeremiah Holt there. Wesley Riddle, Lane Myers, and Mark Cofield throw them all under a blanket. And now 3 wide down the front stretch. And once again, ooh, contact there in quarter entry. Mark Cofield, Lane Myers making a little contact. Lane Myers looking to the outside there of Wesley Riddle. This is the battle for the 5th spot. Myers had it there on the at the line, I believe. Oh, and further up front, Jimmy Mensch rescinding the lead down to the 4th spot. Martin Roberg now your race leader, with Justin Johnson and Scott McCann in tow. Back to this battle here. Lane Myers gonna prevail, getting up to the 5th spot. Up 5 spots since the race start. Myers on a roll here. Back up front, you can see just how sideways some of these cars are getting. Roberg skewing out that right rear there a little bit through 1 and 2. Now back here, Jimmy Mensch getting around Scott McCann up to 3rd, but McCann not giving up quickly. Or not giving it up, I should say. You see just how much some of these drivers are having to wheel it. Let's take a ride on board here real quick with the 12 of Scott McCann, just to show you just how on edge these cars are. You heard him have to lift out of the gas there on corner exit, coming off the banking. Ooh, and he's gonna get the wall. Caution flag gonna fly. And you saw it there live on board. Oh, there might have been a little contact there. Apologies here, folks. Oh, no, there was not contact. Just got very loose on corner entry. And luckily in this series, drivers are given a fast repair, so this won't be a detriment here to Scott McCann's day. It looks like everybody going to come on pit road here except for the 05 of Tristan Bear, who was a lap down and going to get his lucky dog here back onto the lead lap. .33 and Justin Johnson going to win the race off of pit road there. Followed by Martin Roberg, Lane Myers, Jeremiah Holt, Jimmy Mensch, Mark Cofield, Scott McCann, Casey Ellis, Wesley Riddle, Christopher Mixon, and then John Matthews. Tristan Barrett now able to come in for his service. Got the lucky dog, though, so on the lead lap. So, all cars now on the lead lap. Now the field gonna form up double file here down the front stretch. The next time we come by the front stretch, gonna be back to green flag racing. Now, as the field works their way down the backstretch, heading through turns 3 and 4, pace car going to make the hard left onto pit road here shortly, and that'll leave it in the hands of Justin Johnson to restart this race in the restart zone.
Green flag.
Green flag back in the air. Justin Johnson getting a great restart there. Lane Myers able to follow him through up to the second spot. Martin Rober kind of stuck out on the outside. Jeremiah Holt now going to get by him as well. And that caution kind of came out at a good spot for some of these drivers, as you can see them really starting to have to work the car. There's yellow coming out about halfway until our halfway break. Now up front, it's a dogfight for positions. Jeremiah Holt there to the inside of Lane Myers and Martin Rober going around the outside of both of them, 3 wide. Now to the outside of Justin Johnson for your race lead. Roberg using the top line to his advantage up to the race lead, and now 3 wide behind him for second. Lane Myers up top, Justin Johnson in the middle, Jeremiah Holt on the bottom. Everybody going to make a little contact there. Oh, more contact there between Myers, Cofield, and Johnson. But everybody able to keep it straight and keep them, or get themselves sorted out, I should say. Wow, a power move there from Martin Roberg to take back the race lead. Mark Cofield now trying to make something happen here to try to get, or was looking to get around the 73 of Jeremiah Holt there. Now Jeremiah Holt getting a run down the front stretch, and he'll go to the inside of Martin Roberg. Wonder what happened to Roberg there through 3 and 4, but lost a ton of time there. Now Jeremiah Holt, your race leader, Cofield down to the inside of Roberg there, at least momentarily. Still side by side there for your second spot down the front stretch. Ooh, Roberg got the wall there down the backstretch. Now, when is tire wear going to start playing a factor once again? We saw it about 10 laps in on the last run. Back behind, battle side by side here for the 5th spot. Lane Myers to the outside, Justin Johnson to the inside. Myers going to have the advantage going into turn number 1, but Johnson fighting back on the bottom. Back up front, battle for the race lead and second. Cofield to the outside of Jeremiah Holt for the race lead. Holt going to hold on to the spot there. Now Mark Roberg to the inside of Mark Cofield for second. Ooh, Roberg got a little bit of the apron there. Ooh, very sideways through turns 1 and 2. Tire wear starting to play a factor once again in this one. Now battle for the race lead. Roberg to the inside of Jeremiah Holt. Throws it down to the bottom side by side, and Roberg looks like he'll have the advantage out of turn number 4. Three wide back behind. That's the battle for 4th. Battles all over this place. Tristan Bear getting very sideways there. Caution going to come out. Once again, able to avoid contact, but going to go around there. We'll take a look back here. Gonna try to back it up to before. There we go. Yeah, just lost the handle. Tried to correct it, but overcorrected just enough. The thing hooked around on him. But this will give the field a chance to come down once again for tires. If they so choose, just about, I believe, 10 laps until their halfway break. Looks like a lot of the field opting to stay out here. Interesting plays. John Matthews coming in. It looks like he'll be the only one opting to come down for tires. Going to be interesting to see if John Matthews from 12th here, but on fresher tires than a lot of the field, it looked like. But field gonna form up double file here. We'll be coming back to the restart here next time by.
The driver's head is...
Martin Roberg leads us back to the restart. Green flag is out. Mark Cofield on the bottom, not getting a great restart. Scott McCann gave him a little bit of a bumper there. Roberg not able to get away, as we have seen from a lot of these drivers on the restarts. Field fans out down the backstretch, looking like an IndyCar race. Drivers using every inch of the surface. Ooh, contact a little bit further back. Wesley Riddle, I believe, got into the 33 of Justin Johnson there. Now battle here. 3 wide there through turns 1 and 2. Now Justin Johnson carrying a run down the backstretch. looking through the middle here inside of Roberg. Side by side for the third spot. Justin Johnson on cruise control here inside now of Mark Cofield for second. As a reminder, just 4 laps from now is our halfway break. Roberg now to the inside of Justin Johnson, excuse me, for the third spot. But Johnson going to carry that momentum down the backstretch and takes it right back. Johnson trying to carry that high line momentum through 3 and 4. Now Cofield to the inside of Jeremiah Holt for your race lead. Justin Johnson trying to make it 3 wide on the top. Whoa, really sideways there on entry of 3 for Johnson. Now 3 wide again off the corner, this time Roberg on the bottom. But now Justin Johnson going to clear both of them. 3 wide back behind with Lane Myers, but our focus is going to be, oh, maybe not, as Mark Cofield going to go around. Saved it. Just barely, it looks like. Now, how did that Roberg gonna go? I'm so lost. Roberg looked like he went around on the apron as well. That was a heck of a save from Mark Cofield there. As we're going to take a look back here, you see on corner entry, Roberg washed up a little bit, and I don't think Cofield was expecting that. Cofield hangs on to it. And stays out of trouble. Little contact there from Wesley Riddle, and there you see Roberg. Looks like he got onto the apron a little bit. We're going to rewind here, take a little look back again. You see there when the caution flew, Roberg got left sides on the apron and almost went around. But everybody keeps it clean there. As we look back live, looks like the entire field going to come down here. So I believe this will be our halfway caution. A tight race off of pit road. And I believe Justin Johnson got off pit road first. And I think Jeremiah Holt might have gotten a speeding penalty there. Yeah, 73 of Jeremiah Holt getting an end-of-line penalty there. Rodney, I can't even click on the pace car. SDK making it a little dummy-proof for me. Yeah, 73 Jeremiah Holt getting an end-of-line penalty there. I believe it was for speeding on pit road. Unfortunate there from the driver who was leading at the halfway break. But now that'll put the field in the hands of Justin Johnson on this restart. Jimmy mentioned the 94 are going to be to his outside. There you see in third the 28 of Lane Myers. His outside going to be the 37 of Martin Roberg.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag out once again for the second half of this race. Top line not getting a good restart at all. Top three on the bottom able to come clear. Justin Johnson leading the way down the backstretch. Lane Myers on his tail, though. Myers looking to the outside for your race lead, door to door. Myers going to have the momentum down the front stretch. Scott McCann going around the bottom of Justin Johnson. Now side by side with Myers for your race lead. Back behind, they almost looked to make it 4 wide there through 1 and 2. Filed back to 2. Now Lane Myers going to show the way into turn number 3. Still side by side with Scott McCann for your race lead. But Myers going to carry the momentum down the front stretch here and will lead that time by, I believe. Very close, if not, and still door-to-door for the race lead. Scott McCann going to clear for the race lead here. Now Roberg going to make a power move down to the bottom, looking to the inside of McCann for your race lead. McCann going to hold on to it just for now, though. We're going to take a little look further back. John Matthews here in the 8th spot, looking up to Tristan Bear there on the outside, and that's for 7th. And Mark Cofield in 94 or 97, excuse me, behind him. A tight racing all throughout this field. Mark Cofield now to the inside of John Matthews, and Tristan Bear to the inside of Wesley Riddle. Move Bear up to 6th. Back up front, the war still rages on for this race lead to Scott McCann to the inside now of Martin Roberg, who is on the outside there in the 37. And back behind them, Lane Myers still in touch, as well as Jimmy Mensch there in the 94. Justin Johnson there in the 33 and 5th, not too far away either. McCann to the bottom still once again. Trying to find a race lead back. Robert gets clear and going to shut the door once again. Now Lane Myers nearly looked to the inside there of McCann. Excuse me. I tried to hold in a cough, it didn't work. Kristen Bear there getting around the 33 of Justin Johnson, move him up to the 5th spot. We've seen already twice now just how on edge he drives that thing. Gonna be one to watch here. We get into later stages of this race. But once again, tight battles all throughout this field. For the most part, single filed out. But I think everybody just kind of in a little bit of a saving pattern here. Oh, as Cofield gets the wall. Goes through the grass, able to hang on to it, but gonna lose a little bit of time. That was a good catch there. Once again from the driver of the 97. Let's take a look on board here on the 05 machine. Keeping a pretty steady wheel. So far, this is the highest up he's been this race. I'm sure looking for more. Battle heating up front though. Lane Myers getting around the 12 of Scott McCann up to second now. And now looking to the outside of the 37 of Martin Robert for your race lead. Side by side through 1 and 2. Myers going to have the run down the backstretch. Going to have the lead here going into turn number 3. Now Lane Myers, your race leader. Scott McCann now to the outside of Martin Roberg for second. Whoa, Tristan Bear gets sideways once again. Heavy contact with the wall. Going to collect the 48 of Wesley Riddle. Casey Ellis involved. And that is the big one at Las Vegas. Casey Ellis with some damage. Looks like Christopher Mixon got a little piece of it as well. Wesley Riddle already on pit road. Heavy front-end damage to his machine. And Tristan Bear miraculously still able to drive it around. Not sure how that works. We're going to try and take a look back here. You saw the rear end just starting to get away from him here. They are going into turn number 3. And I thought for a minute he might have been able to save it. This gets down into the right rear quarter panel of Justin Johnson. That ricochets him right back up into the fence. From there, collects the 48 of Wesley Riddle. Apologies for that. We're going to take a look back here once again. Trying to find a good camera angle. There we go. Got Casey Ellis nowhere to go, as well as the 97 of Mark Cofield, who goes right under the 48 machine. 48 machine and Wesley Riddle there getting launched into the air. The heavy hits all around. So that caution, entire field came down pit road, took tires. Scott McCann gonna show the way here on the restart. Lane Myers second, Martin Roberg third, Justin Johnson fourth, and Jimmy Mensch gonna round out the top 5 here on the restart. The chaos ensuing there. Looks like everybody gonna be able to continue in this one, though, as Wesley Riddle and I believe Casey Ellis and Mark Cofield taking their faster pairs there. As well as, I'm sure, the 05 of Tristan Bear. Oh, Mark Cofield might still have a little damage here on this restart. You see that nose dangling back there behind, inside of row number 5. It still might be a little front end damage on the 97. But hey, then again, all tires are pointing the right direction. Might as well continue. But focus gonna turn back up to the front here. Scott McCann showing the way on the restart.
Green, green, green.
McCann getting a great launch there down the front stretch. Gonna lead the field off into turn number 1. Jeremiah Holt making the move down to the bottom of Justin Johnson for third. Move Holt up to the 3rd spot. Now Martin Roberg looking to take advantage as well to the inside of Justin Johnson for 4th. Then again, as a reminder, we still have 22 laps to go in this one. It'll be just about the longest run we've had, if we're able to keep it green. I'm sure a lot of these drivers getting close to the limit on their tires. Field capped to 4 tire changes in this series. Ooh, contact there. Roberg gonna get the wall. Heavy hit there for the 37 of Martin Roberg. You saw it there, 3 wide going into turn number 1, and you knew something was going to have to give there. Sorry, that was the wrong clip. My apologies. There you see it starting already. We're going to back up a little bit here just to show you guys from the front stretch. You saw there 3 wide going down the front stretch. Oh, there might have been a little net code there getting into turn number 1. The 73 Jeremiah Holt coming up. There might have been a little net code, but end result is Martin Rober getting turned just a little bit, overcorrects, and gets the outside wall heavily. Now Rober going to come down pit lane as well as Justin Johnson. I'm not exactly sure how the 37 was able to pit that sideways. But gets his service, comes back out. I believe he just took a fast repair there. Now Mark Cofield, I believe, may have pitted under green there. And yes, indeed, he did. And gonna get the lucky dog and get back to the lead lap here. So nobody out of it still. Mark Cofield on the lead lap once again. But up front, Lane Meyer's gonna have the lead here on the restart. Scott McCann gonna restart second. Field back formed up double file. Lane Meyer is going to be in control on the restart. And Scott McCann to his outside, hoping to time it out here. You've seen a lot of drivers that restart on the outside, not able to get a good jump here on the restart, but maybe this one will be different. Going to be 17 laps to go when we get to the restart here. Lane Myers, again, your leader. Start there. Scott McCann not able to get a good restart. Jeremiah Holt now to his inside, as well as Justin Johnson in the 33. Both of them going to go by Scott McCann. The race lead. Side by side down the backstretch. Holt on the bottom. Myers up top. Still side by side out of turn number 4, but looks like Meyer's going to still hold on to the race lead at the line. Now back behind Jimmy Mensch, getting up to the 4th spot, looking to the outside of Justin Johnson for 3rd. But now still door to door for your race lead. Lane Meyer's going to have the run down the backstretch off that top line. Now Jimmy Mensch up to the 3rd spot and looking for more. Using that extreme high line. You don't see that very often here, but he's making it work. Lane Meyer's still going to have the lead there that time by. Jeremiah Holt still trying to get that bottom rolling. Jimmy Mensch on the top line. Not able to get to the outside there. Lane Myers. We're going to try to carry that momentum here down the front stretch. Myers able to shut the door, though. Back behind battles all throughout here. Justin Johnson gonna get turned. Justin Johnson, heavy contact with the outside wall. Martin Roberg as well, I believe, got turned there. Yeah, heavy damage there for the 37 of Martin Roberg. Big crash there. And we're going to take a look back and see what transpired here. You see it's already starting there. Ooh, John Matthews got a little loose getting out of the corner and gets down into the quarter panel of the 33. From there, the 33 of Justin Johnson, just a passenger. Back behind cars trying to catch up. Scott McCann just barely getting clipped by the 37 of Martin Roberg. Roberg going to make heavy contact with the inside wall. Looks like despite getting turned in the initial incident, Justin Johnson going to get away with not a whole lot of damage in that one. Scott McCann forced to tow there to the pit lane. Wesley Riddle with heavy front end damage. You see that nose dragging there. Something happened after the fact here. It looks like... Oh, he towed there. Okay. It looks like a lot of the field going to come down onto pit lane here. Except for your top three. Your top three going to stay out here. Wow, my stuff is a little jumbled. Apologies for that. Why is it on scenic camera? There we go. Jesus. Alrighty. Focusing back up front here. Your top three staying out on this caution. Lane Myers last pit on lap 60. As well as second place Jeremiah Holt. But Mark Cofield, a little bit fresher tires, last pitted lap 63. And then everybody behind came down and got tires just on this most recent caution. So Justin Johnson back on the freshest tires. It's going to be 10 laps to settle the score here on the last... Oh, wow. English is hard. 10 laps to go here at the restart. Field thinned quite considerably. But Roberg able to continue. It looks like anyways. Here, let me... Roberg not in the pace field. And Wesley Riddle in the 48 and the 12 of Scott McCann are going to be retirees after that one. I'm unsure why it's showing Martin Roberg on track 4.94 seconds behind the leader. But pace car going to make the jump onto pit lane, and that leaves it in the hands of the 28 of Lane Myers.
Green, green, green.
Myers able to get a good restart there, but Jeremiah Holt already onto his back bumper, and behind them, remember Justin Johnson on fresh tires. Jeremiah Holt going to have the race lead going into turn number 3, but Johnson hot on his heels, as well as Lane Myers. Now Myers fighting back on the bottom. Justin Johnson shoots down onto the apron inside of Lane Myers, and now Jeremiah Holt for the race lead. Gonna be close quarters here in turns 1 and 2. Justin Johnson on the bottom, Lane Myers through the middle. Johnson forced back to third. Now Jimmy Mensch up to the 4th spot. Justin Johnson there fighting with Jeremiah Holt for the 2nd spot. Mark Cofield making it 3 wide into the bottom of 1 and 2. Contact there with a 33 of Justin Johnson. Ooh, close there. Jimmy Mensch to the outside of Justin Johnson for 3rd. Using that extreme high line once again. Tristan Bear behind making contact with Mark Cofield though. But up front, still a battle for the race lead. Jeremiah Holt to the inside of Lane Myers. Still door to door out of turn number 2. Myers going to have the momentum. Jimmy Mensch now to the outside of Jeremiah Holt for 2nd. Right onto the bumper of your race leader, Lane Myers. Holt now back to the inside of Lane Myers for your race lead. Gonna be 5 laps to go here at the line. John Matthews now in the mix as well. 3 wide for 2nd. Ooh, Justin Johnson was giving a little bit of a push there to John Matthews, and I'm not sure Matthews was expecting it. Got a little wiggly, but Matthews gonna make it work. Contact a little bit further back. Justin Johnson, Jeremiah Holt got real tight there through 1 and 2. But now Jimmy Mensch and John Matthews side by side for 2nd. Now 3 wide behind Mark Cofield on the top. Justin Johnson through the middle. Oh, Justin Johnson gonna go around. Spinning through the grass. So far, it looks like the field may stay green. Back up front. Still waging war. Jeremiah Holt, Jimmy Mensch, John Matthews. Now Casey Ellis up into the top 5. Three laps to go. Lane Myers still your race leader, but Jeremiah Holt right there, as well as the 94 of Jimmy Mensch. Two to go. Jimmy Mensch now up to the 2nd spot outside of Jeremiah Holt. Oh, and back behind, car's going to go around. Caution going to come out. Mark Cofield, John Matthews involved. We'll take a look back and see what happened there. See, it's already transpired there. Ooh, may have been a little bit of netcode. Here, let's take a look back once again. Now, hard to tell, but Cofield got trying to get to the inside of John Matthews there, and contact transpiring from there. Both cars going to go around. Justin Johnson, after his spin, going to make a trip to pit road. It looks like he'll be the only one going on the pit road here. I'm sure if he has a set of tires, this is going to be the time to use it. The rest of the field opting to stay out here. Going to be a green-white checkered here on the restart. Lane Meyer's going to be a race leader here on the restart in the 28 car. Jeremiah Holt going to be to his outside. Jimmy Minch going to be behind him in the 94. Casey Ellis going to be outside of him in the 35 car in 4th. Then back behind them, Tristan Bear in the 05 sitting 5th. Then his outside row number 3 gonna be the 57 of Christopher Mixon. Then Mark Cofield, John Matthews, Justin Johnson on fresh tires. And everybody else not in the pace field as it stands. Lane Myers looking for his first race win of the season. And sitting in a pretty good position to get it done here. And actually only drivers to score a race win this season that are currently in the pace field is Jimmy Minch sitting 3rd, Tristan Bear sitting 5th. Then I believe the 33 of Justin Johnson's gotten one here at one point. But aside from that, a lot of hungry drivers here on this restart.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag gonna come out, and Lane Myers not getting the jump he wanted there. Jeremiah Holt able to hang to his outside. Gonna be door-to-door out into turn number 1. Myers able to pull clear there. Tries to cover off the momentum from the top line. Now Jimmy Minch inside of Jeremiah Holt for 2nd. White flag gonna come out here. Lane Myers still your race leader. Jimmy Minch 3rd. Jeremiah Holt 2nd. Now Tristan Bear up to the 4th. Casey Ellis getting turned back behind. Big contact there. We're going to stay focused up here to the front. Battle still raging on. Jeremiah Holt trying to find something here. Just about gets to the bumper of the 28, but Lane Myers going to have the run out of turn number 4 and going to be, for the first time, a race winner here in the Pre-Legend Series. Jeremiah Holt going to finish 2nd. Jimmy Minch going to finish 3rd. Christopher Mixon with a strong run at the end. They're going to finish 4th. And Tristan Bear going to run out our top 5. And a great job there from Lane Myers. Not lose his composure there on the restart. And hangs on for his first career win in the Bolt Racing League Pre-Legend Series. He's going to burn it down here on the front stretch. A lot to unpack here, especially from that last lap. But short end of it here, Lane Myers in the 28, your race winner. Gonna park it there on the front stretch. Before we get into interviews, we're gonna take a quick look back at some of these incidents here on the last couple laps. Ooh, heavy hits there for Casey Ellis, as well as Mark Cofield. And Cofield not able to cross the line. Then back up ahead of them. Ooh, already sideways. See, Tristan Bear got the wall, and Justin Johnson washes up. Those two make contact out of turn number 4. Justin Johnson just almost crossed the line backwards there, and then puts it in reverse to get across the line. But Ditching gonna turn it now to our interviews for the top 3. We're gonna start with tonight's race winner in the 28 car, Lane Myers. Hey Lane, this is Bobby in the booth. You got a copy? Oh, I am muted. Lane, this is Bobby in the booth. You got a copy?
10-4.
Held on to it there on the last restart and picked up your first race win of the season in the Pre-Legend Series. Walk us through your night here tonight at Las Vegas.
Didn't really get practice. Maybe 10 minutes or so. Never really ran the new version of this track. So I kind of was going in blind, but stuck with what I was comfortable with in practice, and probably about the first caution, I knew that I had a very, very good long run car. So I kind of just I kind of used that as my advantage. I knew I could save a little bit more than everybody else.
Yeah,
But-
able to hang on to it here for the race win. Anybody you'd like to thank here tonight?
Rodney and Pacey making the league, Casey especially for making this specific series. I love these cars. It's about time I got a win in this league. So yeah, I know Pacey would be proud of me tonight.
Well, heck of a job here tonight for getting the race win. We'll let you go home and celebrate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was your race winner, Lane Myers, in the 28 car. Now, next, we're going to move on to the second place finisher here in the 73 car, Jeremiah Holt. Hey, Jeremiah, this is Bobby in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes.
Strong run here tonight, but just one spot short here at Las Vegas. Walk us through your race here tonight.
We had good speed. We probably messed up not taking tires on that last caution. I kind of thought everybody would stay out 10 to go, and Lane just had he had enough to get it done still. I just came up a little short.
Yeah, a little short, but still a strong run here at Las Vegas. Anybody you'd like to thank for your second place finish?
I just like to thank Bolt for putting on a race. It was a lot of fun, and Splash Auto Spa.
Alrighty, we'll let you go and celebrate your second place finisher here tonight. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you.
That was Jeremiah Holt, your second place finisher. And finally, we're going to move on to our third place finisher here tonight. Wow, I clicked on the wrong car. Imagine that. There we go. There we go. Look at that. That's beautiful. All right, next moving on to the 94 car of Jimmy Mensch, our third place finisher. Hey, Jimmy, this is Bobby in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, I gotcha.
Great run here tonight, and you had that high line working for you there for a little bit. Come home third place finisher here tonight. Walk us through your race.
First half, honestly, I was so frustrated. I could not figure out how to save the right rear. I'm used to trying to save the right front. So the first half, I get like 15 or so laps in, and I was just wrecking loose. Like I was basically drifting every corner. Then near the end there, I tried running the high side, and it got the right rear to last a little bit longer, it seemed. It wore down the right front and kind of balanced the car out. So especially that last like 10 laps, I took the pit stop. I took that gamble and tried to run with it. So I was just trying to use the fresh tires, kind of use up the right front a little bit so it would balance it out and wasn't wrecking on the last lap. Kind of bit me though, because that last green white checkered, I was a little too tight. But you know what? I'll take it.
Yeah, strong run here tonight, finishing third, and definitely going to be a little bit of a help in the points, I'm sure. Anybody you'd like to thank for your third place run?
Obviously, I gotta thank you up in the booth. Nobody would be able to watch this if you weren't around. I gotta thank the wife. She's the most important one. She's the one that lets me do this. Because if it wasn't for her, I'd have to put the kid down to bed. She's the one that puts the kid down to bed, gives her a bath and everything late at night when I have these races. So it gives me the time to actually get out here and run. So yeah, big thanks to her.
Yeah, and a great run here tonight at Las Vegas, and we'll let you go home and celebrate your third place finisher here tonight. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
And that will do it from us here tonight, folks. Lane Myers taking home the race win here at Las Vegas. Definitely a chaotic one, but that'll happen on these big jobs. That'll do it from us here tonight at Capital Racing Network. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. And if not, I don't care. Great racing here to watch. But till next time, peace.